These folks are busy trying to protect us from an invader. They are a first line of defense, all right, watching for something that could ride in on an airplane. They try to protect food and agriculture. At Chicago's O'Hare Airport, Jim Lubker is an agriculture inspector for Customs and Border Protection.
What we want to do, the United States Department of Agriculture, we work closely with them, and they publish disease status of the countries and the regulatory guidelines for the different products that come into the United States. And that may be fruits and vegetables, it might be animal products, seeds for planting, seeds not for planting, live plants, and horticultural plants that come in. So we are looking at all of those to try to exclude insects, diseases that affect plants, insects that affect animals, and animal diseases from coming into the United States.
Jim acknowledged it is a challenging job as they check those incoming passengers, maybe coming from a country where there's a disease problem we don't want to have, and they're also inspecting the freight.
We have to remember that at O'Hare International Airport, we have thousands of passengers that come in every day. We have probably millions of dollars worth of cargo that comes in every day, and we rely on the declarations that passengers make and on the manifests that the importers provide U.S. Customs so we can have a better chance to look at the products that are coming in. In the cargo environment, permits are required. There might be veterinary certificates that are required, and we review those as a regular course of business. The wild card, of course, is the people that smuggle, either intentionally, or the people really aren't aware that what they're bringing in is a problem and can have an impact on our agriculture operations across the country.
The document, when you come into the country, states there is a penalty for violation.
There is a civil penalty. The civil penalty is for failure to declare. It's not that you intended to do anything. It's just that you failed to declare. You have a declaration form that you complete before you come to the entry part of the airport for U.S. Customs. If you stop at a kiosk, either for a regular kiosk or global entry, or use the app, there are questions relating to agriculture. Do you have any plants, plant products? Do you have any animal products? Have you been on a farm or a ranch? Are you bringing biologicals in the country? And that, I think, is our biggest challenge, is people get in a hurry here at the airport and they want to run out the door and they don't want to trigger anything that would hold them up. But the way agriculture is set up, we're not concerned whether it's prohibited or not. All we want to do is have the opportunity to inspect it. And if it's prohibited and it's declared, all we're going to do is take it and you go on your way. If you don't declare it, the civil penalties step in, and we can issue civil penalties of $300 per occurrence for the regular passenger, or it goes to $500 for airline crew members and global entry passengers, because they have knowledge of these rules beforehand.
They should know better.
They should know better.
And Jim and his colleagues have canine officers helping them, some of which are trained to sniff out bombs or drugs or currency. But then there's Betty.
I work a dog in an international airport that's trained to find fruits, vegetables, meats, and plants. Our dogs are certified to find apple, citrus, mango, beef, and pork. Back in the 80s when they started the program, they deemed that these were the most commonly found food items that were coming in internationally, that we were worried about bringing in plant diseases, insects, and livestock diseases. Do the dogs only find those items? No. We believe they're actually alerting to the ethylene gas that's produced by decaying, rotting plant matter. So they'll alert to pretty much anything fresh. Leaves, I once found a grapevine, a 6-foot tree wrapped in a lining of a suitcase. Fresh leaves, as you know, are big carriers for insects and plant diseases, so having the dogs is a bonus. That's stuff you're not going to see on the X-ray machine. So having a canine is like an extra tool. It's a very fun job.
I asked Officer Anderson about the qualifications that they might have for their canine officer partners.
We actually obtain most of our dogs from kennels or shelters or rescues. So our dogs do need a little bit of training and guidance before we get the dogs. What they're looking for are dogs with a very high food drive, because all of our dogs are food rewarded. They get cookies every time they do a good job. So as long as the dog has a very high food drive, it doesn't take them very long to get the dogs on track. to finding the odors. So they train them for a month, 2 months, 3 months before we get there. Once a new handler arrives, they have 2.5 months with that dog to learn how to find the food items. And once they graduate, they can move on. A handler like myself that's returning, we only have to go back for 4 weeks. The difference is, I believe, the dogs are, they're smarter than us, and we have to learn their behavior and get used to the idea of watching a dog show a change in behavior and learning how to read it. So it's, I want to say the dogs are very intelligent, and a lot of times we don't understand how to read them, and it's the handler picking up the little differences in the change of behavior with each dog. Every dog is different and they react differently. So as soon as you learn how to read a behavior, boom, you're on. You're a great team.